invite you to turn to 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Some of the most familiar verses in your Bible, but a lot of you might need to know where those things are actually found. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 13. As we discussed for just a moment, talking back and forth with Whitney Houston's Greatest Love of All, I hope that you guys got to talk back and forth about especially the emphasis on children, because it's nice to know yourself deep down, but it's also nice to know that literally the greatest love of all, sometimes if you're going to compare it to children, children are amazingly selfish creatures. They demand your attention, and they demand it now. And the point is, great song, great melodic song, but has a little bit to be desired as far as truth is concerned. What you're going to learn from 1 Corinthians 13 is really and truly what love is all about as far as Christians are concerned. We're going to kind of deal with that. I wanted to just start by throwing in a word from a gentleman who was a great preacher, Dr. Haddon Robinson, wonderful guy. Spent his entire adult life ministering for the Lord at major theological institutions, and just a prince of preachers all the way around. Heard him one day do a little testimony about when he was like an associate pastor, like 50-some years ago. He died this past summer, and they talked a lot about his past. And I remember a story that he told early on in his ministry, that when he was an associate pastor, he was in Oregon, and he said that he had the opportunity to go to a ton of ordination councils. An ordination council is as close to purgatory as the Bible will allow as far as evangelicals are concerned. That is where pastors are trying their dead level best to get that reverend in front of their name. And what they have to do is go stand front and center for hours in front of other preachers that question them on theology, their background, their call into ministry, all that stuff. I mean, it is sheer terror. Mine lasted about 3.5 hours, and it was no fun. Okay, it was terrific as far as you get a lot of insight from folks, and they want to know. It's not mean and awful, but they want to know your call, what you're going to do in ministry, that kind of stuff. I can remember in my ordination, which was in Clewiston, Florida, way down in Lake Okeechobee, bass fishing territory, that we had probably 18, 20 ministers coming in from Lake Okeechobee all the way around it. And I can still remember battered with one question after another, which was fine, just you go through all of what you believe and all that, what the Bible says about stuff. But toward the end, there was one old guy from Canal Point, which was in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and I mean nowhere, little place, and pastoring a little dinky church in the midst of that. And I would, wanted to hear him because he was 80-some years old at that time. And finally at the end, he hadn't said anything the whole day. And they said, Brother so-and-so, do you want to throw something into this young preacher wanting to start? And he said, yes. He said, young man, you want to stay in the ministry long? Yes, sir, I do. He said, stay away from the money, stay away from the women. That was it, set out. And to this day, 3.5 hours, that's all I remember that whole day. And I usually tell folks, my wife has kept me away from the women, and the deacons keep me away from the money. And there you go. There you go. Haddon Robinson said that he was in one of those long, involved ordinations, and he said at the end of it, it's like, any more questions for this? They're trying to wind it up. Then a pastor stood up and asked the young man, who said who had answered everything flawlessly up to that point. He said, "Just want to ask you 2 questions, young man." And he goes, "Number 1, do you love people?" As Haddon would say, because he was just a great preacher all over. I says, well, what else is the young guy going to say? No, I hate people, but I love the money. You know, keep that ministry coming in. You know, of course he's going to say, I love people. He said, you know, there's no such thing as a dumb question. He said, well, that's bordering it right there. You know, that's enough. And he says, then he threw something in that he says, not until years into ministry did I realize the wisdom. He says, young man, do you love people? And then he says, if the answer is yes, how do you know? That's a great question. That's a wonderful question. How do you know if you love people or not? Paul's going to talk about that today out of 1 Corinthians chapter 13. And what I need you to know is a little bit about Corinth and Corinthians. As I always do, you get maps. That's why there's more guys than girls here. So sorry, ladies, you have to put up with it. Okay? But a lot of them will say, I'm coming because my guy will come. So there we go. Corinth is going to be right here. Down here is going to be the Holy Land. We recognize the Sea of Galilee, the Muddy Jordan, and the Dead Sea. But all the way up through here, if you especially study Paul and his marauding around with his missionary journeys, you're going to see this is Asia Minor right here, Turkey today. And all those towns that you'll know, Ephesus, Laodicea, Colossae, you're going to see Philadelphia here, Troas up here, all those towns that you're really familiar with. Then, as he got literally on the second missionary journey, the missionary called to go across into Macedonia over here. Macedonia is the upper end of Greece. Then you're going to have Achaia down here, and then the what is called the Peloponnesus down here, part of Greece. Then you're going to see Greece go from all the way up here in the hill country all the way down. It's a very different, so the whole like being in Texas, that's where they always say it's a whole other country. As it really is. Then you can have beach, you can have hills, you can have deserts, you can have rolling, beautiful, you know, there's everything in Texas. And so the same way, you're going to have everything in this particular country. When you get down here, the two major cities you're going to see a lot is Athens, naturally, and Corinth. Now, those two cities are really pronounced. You're going to see Athens over here, smart place. Brainiacs, okay? Just philosophy all over the place. Then you're going to see Corinth down here, which is a metropolitan world feel of a city. People coming and going all the time. Has the feel of New York or Miami or San Diego. A lot of shipping was coming in and out of the place and literally felt like that big metropolitan type of area. You're going to have the mainland over here, then you're going to have this big hump of almost an island. There's a little land bridge called an isthmus that goes between it. This is called the Peloponnesus. What happened was the ancient mariners didn't get out to sea much. Only the Phoenicians ever learned really how to go across the Mediterranean. Everyone else was like me, hug the coast. I hate deep sea fishing. I want to see shore. It's deep as it can get where I can still see some shore. You know, hopefully I could dog paddle over there, do backstrokes or something, but at least I can see where I'm going. You know, there's the land over there. That's what I want to see. The idea is they didn't want to go all the way around the fingers of this. It took a good week and a half to get a ship around that thing, where if you just had a mile across here, you could just, if there was some way of doing it, well, the ancients figured that out. They had big rolling pins. Huge ones. Because it's only a mile that goes across that. You see it from the space station. That's what it looks like in real life. It's just a mile across that. Versus all the way around and come out in the same place. You're going literally from the Aegean Sea over here to the Adriatic Sea over here. It's going to go across that little land bridge. Here's a better shot of it. That's from the space station, only this is a little more highlighted so you can actually see how thin it actually gets. So they literally put rolling pins that would roll, and they would take animals and people and pull your boat up onto the rolling pins and roll it across the mile, even though they had to cut some of the hill down to actually do it, and then literally put it in the other side. Well, in the 1890s, they decided, why are we doing this? We've been doing this for centuries. Why don't we just dig a canal? This is the ancient cuts. This is the new stuff. They literally just cut down into the mountain low enough that they created a canal. Even to this day, the canal goes there. Okay? It is just literally a mile-long gouge down into the rock, and you literally take the ship straight through it. Now, it's big enough to get some pretty big ships through it. In fact, I got this shot so you can see this. This is one of the most I'll just throw it in. It's a little rabbit, but I like it anyway. Okay? It's the world's most oddball bridge that you'll ever see. Normally, when you get down to intercoastal waterways and stuff where you have boats with high masts and stuff like that, they have either one of the two. Either bridges that do the straight up and down, they'll either open up and hold traffic and then you take your boat through it and they drop it, or the turntable type that literally just turns to the side and you go past. This is one of the only bridges that submerges. The bridge literally goes down, not up, it goes down underneath and the boat goes across it over the top. It's one of the most odd bridges that you'll ever see, right here. This is just kind of interposed so you can see the size of it. As time went on, because that was the 1890s, ships got bigger. And they still use it. You ready? These ships use it today. That's, you talk about sweating. There is sweaty piece of sweat. I love that they put these little parts out here and say, don't hit it, don't hit it, oh, don't hit it, don't hit it. That just terrifies me. I love the picture. It's like, oh, I got to show that to them. It just scares you to death. The point is, this place is used to seeing the world. Corinth literally was one of the only towns in the world that got to see everyone. Everyone else had their own little city and they would bring people in that were coming toward that area. Ephesus got to see a whole bunch that was going into the interior, but literally you're coming to Turkey no matter what you're doing. Corinth, anybody going anywhere went through Corinth. Okay? It used to be the same way with flying. If you flew out anywhere near Atlanta, you flew into Atlanta, made a switch, and then you went on from there. I mean, it's just the way it is. We used to joke when I was in the business world that if you go to heaven, you probably went through the ATL to get there, you know. You went to Atlanta and then went up. Because everywhere else you kind of came in and made a transfer one way or the other. This town became noted for just having gazillions of people coming through. The church in Corinth was uniquely gifted to reach those people. They were unique. Not all churches had this. What it was that the uniqueness was that regular old Joes who were in the church got special gifts that they would know different world languages without studying them. It was just miraculous. All at once you would know Ethiopian. All at once you would know the dialect of Constantinople, you know, Istanbul today. You know, all at once you would know, everything from the Horn of Africa to Roman Latin to wherever else, that you were not trained in it, but it was a gift. It wasn't like an ecstatic utterance, like the gibberish. It was actually worldly language so that the gospel could go out. The problem was that those folks decided it was far easier to stay inside their church and brag to one another and judge one another on how good they were on what they could either say or interpret on those languages than it was to go out and actually reach people on the docks. Who wants to go out and smell smelly, sailors and fish and barnacles and everything else at the dock, where we can do our little thing inside the church and back and forth and be happy, having joy, joy, and put down someone. I know 6 languages, you only know 2. That's what they had degenerated down to. That's what Paul was writing to the Corinth church. You're uniquely gifted. Get those gifts out there where it can do some good, where people will learn the gospel rather than fight inside the church house. That's where they're going. Ready? We drop into chapter 13, verse number 1. It says, though I speak with tongues of men and angels. In other words, those earthly languages, or if I had an ecstatic utterance and only God knew the language, but have not love. Now we're going to come to that word in a minute. Stick with that. Think of the highest love that you can possibly get. Okay? Have not love, I have become a sounding brass or a clanging cymbal. I started to bring it and I thought it'd just be too trite. Literally in Greek it means pots and pans in a bag, shaking them. If you think that that's a nice, wonderful sound, especially if you turn little ones, that was both of our kids loved to get into the shelves and stuff and get the pans and bonk them and all kinds of stuff. They were both musical that way. So it's like, oh, that's entertaining. That's just like grandparents. Here I bought you a drum set. Now go home with it. Play it for your dad. That kind of thing. It sounds like pots and pans banging against each other. That's what your wonderful gift sounds like if it doesn't have love. If it's not wrapped up and governed by love, that's what it sounds like, Paul says. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all the mysteries and all knowledge, and so that I have all the faith in the world, but even enough that I can remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. Emphasis on nothing. It's emphatic. Exclamation point. I am nothing. Ready? Even though I bestow all my goods. In other words, empty out my entire bank account to the poor. Okay? Even though I give my body to be burned. Everything. I'm all in. If you're playing some kind of game and you say, I'm risking it all. Shove it all in. I'm all in on this one. But have not love, it profits me, emphasis, nothing. That means nothing in life, nothing in death, and nothing in rewards at the judgment. I'm nothing. Period. That's a lot of statement. Because these were gifted people. They were unique. How would you like to just be able to say, a bunch of Albanians or something came to Dahlonega for some reason, and they needed someone to usher them around, and they even tell them about the gospel, and then you woke up one morning and you started talking to your spouse or your friends or whatever, and in the midst of speaking English, you could say, well, another word for that is blah, 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 and all once you're speaking Albanian, and it just goes from English, Albanian, and you're doing all Albanian, and you're understanding it fine. What's coming out of your mouth, how did I get? That's where they are. They didn't earn this thing. They didn't work for it. It was miraculous. It was a grace gift thrown at them. Okay, here it comes. Love suffers long and is kind. That's agape love. The kind of love that is stated there is agape. Christians co-opted the word. Okay, it was a word that the Greeks just simply didn't use. They said it's a high, lofty type of love. That, it's like when you get up to like as many years or as many numbers as you want to throw in, no one throws in Googleplex. That's the largest number that we know that we can actually work with, a Googleplex. Okay, we never say that. We say it's a gazillion. Whatever a gazillion is. There's like a gazillion stars out there tonight. Okay, it's beyond measure. That is what they thought of agape. Now they had other words. They had philios, which we get the word Philadelphia from, old brotherly love, how old buddy, old pal, arm around them, we can get through this thing, old buddy, okay? Or we're over going fishing, old buddy. That's philios. Eros, that is the marriage kind of love, okay? Literally, this was agape. They just never used it. The Greeks didn't like it because no one could love like that. Agape love is self-giving, expecting nothing in return type of love. The Greeks thought that was the epitome of weakness. You're weak. If you're going to just love for love's sake, just love and not expect anything in return, in fact, nothing in return, even though the love is thrown back in your face and you still love, that is agape kind of love. A lot of times we said, oh, we love that, or we love someone else. Okay? In other words, I like you. And really what we're deep down saying is, I like you because I'm like you. We look a lot alike. We act a lot alike, so I like you. This love is, I love you. I don't care what comes back. I don't expect anything in return. Period. Even a, how are you? Doesn't make a difference to me. I love anyone. That's agape. He gives you kind of a highlight, an overview. He says, love suffers long. Long suffering. Because it suffers long. Love is patient. Love sees everyone under construction. Love doesn't see people as a finished product. We're never done. People are never done. They're always working, always improving, always sliding, backwards, forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 3 steps forward. And to see people like that, and to say, I know you're on the 2 steps back, we can go, come on, we can do this kind of thing. And see that. Love suffers long, is patient. Love is kind. Now, kindness is one of those things that says, love means I'm going to make life more bearable for you, more pleasant for you somehow. That's kindness. I'm not expecting anything in return. My idea is to make life a little better for you. And that's kindness. You ready? Here it goes. The 3 M's, if you want to know the 3 M's of love, here's the first one. It's going to be manners. Okay? So I had the teams in for us a little bit up in the balcony and all that. The whole idea is these are the kind of things that you need to stick in if you're going to have biblical kind of love. Here it goes. Manners recognizes the difference in people. It says, love does not envy. Love says, deep down, I know everyone is different and everyone has a gift package that is very different, and I'm recognizing the gift package, and what I want you to know is in the midst of your giftedness, I still love you. I'm still going to walk through with you. But I'm not going to look at your gifts and say, ooh, I would love those gifts. Because God has gifted me as well, and my job is to live up to my potential with my gifts, as it is me trying to get you to live up to your potential with your gifts. I don't envy them. Now, where's the problem? The problem is some gifts are up front, big type of gifts, leadership gifts, singing gifts, great talent gifts, and then there's other gifts that are behind-the-scenes gifts. And somehow the people with the behind-the-scenes gifts get the idea that my gifts don't measure up to the up-front gifts. Yes, they do. They're needed more than the up-front gifts, frankly, is those folks that literally make it all happen behind the scenes and don't prefer to be up front and be in front of everyone, but they make it happen. Love does not envy someone else's gift. Have you ever sat around and said, oh man, what I wouldn't have done with that? I used to do that in athletics. I was enough to get to college and get college paid for through athletics a little bit. But 5'9" isn't very big. And I used to see those guys who were clumsy oxes and walking around 6'2", 6'4", going, oh, what I couldn't have done with that height, man. Oh, it's just killing me, It's where I'm down here looking at everybody's belt buckle. That's the idea. That's what we do with gifts as well. Oh, I wish I could sing like so-and-so. I wish I could play like so-and-so. Wish I could speak in front of people. I wish. Now, what's your gift? Because God in the judgment day is not going to ask you how you sang if you're a rotten singer. Praise the Lord. Okay? Because I am a rotten singer. Horrible, but at least I know. Dirty Harry said it. It's good for a man who knows limitations. Okay? There I am. So, the idea is, know what you can do and be faithful with what you can do. Rather than envy someone else's stuff, just you be the best you that you can possibly be. Ready? Manners says no to balloon feelings. You ready? Says, love, this is the C part. I'm kind of breaking up verse number 4. It says, love does not parade itself. It's not puffed up. It doesn't organize a parade saying, Look at me. Look at my ministry. Look how well I'm doing. Look how well our church is doing. Look how well our family is doing. Look at us. It says, do not be puffed up. It's literally in Greek, don't be a balloon full of hot air. Okay? Because balloons have a tendency to pop. You know, they just do. And the idea is just don't be full of hot air. If someone's going to pump you up, let someone else pump you up. Don't you worry about it. You just be you, the best that you can possibly be. Ready? Here's the one I love. Manners does not behave rudely. Let that one sink in. Some of the most, Christian folks that I've known in my past have been rude people. They just have. It is literally sort of the vice of the virtuous. I was raised in kind of a really tight type of church, and the idea was, you live it, and you make sure everyone else is living it. The idea is rudeness is sin, just like any other sin. Okay, and there's a bunch of sins. Let it roll through your head, we got lying, stealing, cheating, there's a gazillion of them. Rude is right in there. It is just plain rudeness. Do not behave rudely. Heard a great example that Haddon Spurgeon, or Haddon Robinson said. I was just listening to his funeral service. He had like a 2-hour funeral service for him that he would have hated because he was short. He did his things really succinct, and everyone just loved him. And they told of a story that he literally was having a world-renowned preacher come in and do a revival for him. In the midst of the revival, he said, before the service stuff, let's go get a bite to eat. So they went out to get a bite to eat, plopped down, and this guy is world-renowned, great soul winner type of guy. And in the midst of the meal, the poor waitress came by and spilled some water on him. Not a ton, but dripped water on it. It's water. Said this guy just went ballistic. You call yourself a waitress? Look at this. Oh, you messed me up. How am I going to get in front of all those thousands of people? And wet. And it said my eyes were huge. Like, whoa. And so she runs to get a towel for him. And in the process of that, Haddon leans over just like he could and said, dare you to witness to her when she comes back. His rudeness had eliminated any chance of getting the word in for God. Our rudeness sometimes, even though we think we're being great Christians, can ruin our effectiveness in trying to witness of the love of God, the love of Christ who came to earth to die for the likes of us. Our rudeness, selfishness, wanting our way, can mess that up. And they won't listen to what we say about the gospel. We've already messed them up. Manners. Ready? Second M. Motive. What's in it for me? Good American thought. Okay? Love does not seek its own. What's in it for me? If there was ever a ministry killer, it is that phrase. What's in it for me? What's in it for me cannot reside where agape love resides. Agape love doesn't care what's in it for me. God will take care of me. He'll work with my gifts. He'll take care of me. That's not my concern. My concern is you and how that I can serve and work with you and help you. That's what agape love does. It does not seek its own. It literally says, all my skills that I've learned in times past are at your disposal, that I try to keep you from going in the same pits that I've fallen in. I'm trying my dead level best to help you. All my gifts are at your disposal to try to pull you. I'm trying to make the tide go up so everybody's boat goes up with me. Okay? The idea is everything in life is designed so it's exterior. so that I'm trying to build into others because God's going to take care of me. If I'm faithful, He'll take care of me. That's not my worry, that's His. What my worry is to try my dead level best to do the best I can for others. That's our motive. You ready for the third and last one? All God's people said? Amen. Again, I do that every week. So, it's like, well, I'm getting toward the end. It's the only time I ever get an amen, so that's all right. I'll take it when I can get it. Okay? Love is not provoked and thinks no evil. Now, the second part, I'll throw that in first. It doesn't think any evil. That's a really good sort of New King James way of condensing a big Greek sentence. What it says, it doesn't take into an account a wrong suffered. That's what it really says in Greek. It means, I don't keep a list of the bad things you do. That's what it means. That means, and you know it too. Someone has been keeping a list on you because you do a little something, whatever it was. Oh, somebody goes off and they start bringing stuff up that is years old. Yeah, but you did 2 years ago, and then last year, and then 6 months ago, and then it's like, whoo, you were keeping an account. You could just reel off 7 or 8 of those just like really, really quick. Love doesn't keep a list of the bad things that you do. You ready? Love is not provoked. It literally means love is not easily angered or irritable. Love isn't irritable. Some folks say that's just my gift to the world. Is irritability. I just walk around like we would say in the country as a cat that has, problems from behind. I'm just mad at the world. That's my gift to the world, is for me to be. No, it isn't. Love is not easily angered or irritable. The problem with that is Christians see that as Christian-y. Chuck Swindoll said it. He said, I was feeling really bad. He said, I had the oncoming of flu. I could just feel it. It's like, oh, And so he said, I went to a store, we're standing in line, and he said, I'm not feeling really good. Standing there, the lady looked at him and said, you're a Christian, aren't you? He said, yes, but I'm sick. The idea is, a lot of times we think of irritable, mean, mad, against the world, as God, and it isn't. It's just like every other sin. And we need to come to the Lord and say, Lord God, somehow this world needs to see a smile. Somewhere it needs to see a little hope. Somewhere it needs someone to say that there is grace in the world. That means not earned, given to you. You didn't earn it, you just got it. That's what grace is. Mercy is not getting what you do deserve. God is full of that. But He's also full of grace. Kairos, grace, is what it means. I give it to you without anything in return because I love you. Irritability is just that way. You ready? Mood talks about being happy at the right time. Love does not rejoice in iniquity, sin, but it rejoices in the truth. Being happy at the right time. That's what love's all about. Your mood is, I'm going to be thrilled when godly things are happening, not when nasty things are happening. I'm going to be happy. Ready? Agape love says, love bears all things, love believes all things, love hopes all things, love endures all things. All of those in Greek are emphatics. They bear all things, love believes all things, love hopes all things, love endures all things. Only agape love can pull that off. We can't do that. I don't care what actor or actress you think you are, you can't pull that one off. Bearing all things, believe all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Agape love never fails. That's the Word. The last part of that paragraph says, and now abide these. They're here, abiding. Faith, hope, and love. Of these three, the greatest is agape love. Because if you got agape type of love, you'll have faith and you'll have hope. Agape love is where it is. Manners, motive, mood. I picked that picture because it is so much more people. You can get a crowd picture off Google all you want, but they're usually happy or joyful. I want this picture because this is real world living right here. Okay? They're looking at you like, okay, now what? That's what they're saying. And the question is, do you love people? And if you love people, how do you know? How do they know that you love them? Let's stand as we pray.